It's day 72 of the Bearded Braceface. Today I want to tell a story that for some reason came up the other day, and it's about peer pressure and Power Rangers. I grew up through part of the 80s, but I would say most of my childhood memories are from the 90s. And in the 90s there was a TV show called Power Rangers. Frankly, it was an awful show. When it came out, I had zero interest in it. I saw the first episode and thought, this show is terrible. Even as a little kid, I remember thinking, hey, we got the Yellow Ranger being Asian, Pink Ranger being a white girl, Black Ranger being a black guy, the Blue Ranger being a white guy, and clearly the Red Ranger had some sort of Native American in him. Then later came the Irish Green Ranger. The heavy-handed racial stereotyping here was a little bit much for me to handle, even as a kid. But I digress. I hated the show. Every episode was 100% predictable and ridiculous. Putty bad guys come in, Rangers fight them as normal people. Main bad guy of the episode comes in, Rangers transform into their outfits. Bad guy girls huge.
Magic wand! Make my monster grow!
Rangers getting dinosaur robots.
We need dinosaur power, now!
Each of these scenarios has escalated without the Rangers really being able to defeat the bad guy. Then Rangers all form together into one robot as a Megazord and defeat the bad guy. Even as a child, this was too repetitive and predictable for me, and it always made me think, hey, guys, why don't you get together in your giant robot right off the beginning and just squish the dude? Plus, how are they going from the city where they're at to all of a sudden being in the middle of a desert or something? Aren't people dying from all of this destruction happening? Then you got Bulk and Skull that always had some stupid thing going on. It was just an awful, awful show. But I watched every episode of the first season so I could fit in. This is where the peer pressure came in. All my friends had the Megazord toys and the Power Ranger toys, and that's all anybody ever wanted to talk about or play. I felt like I needed to know what the show was about and watch it in order to be able to play with my friends. I never bought or owned any of the toys. I was a Batman and X-Men kind of kid. Wolverine, Cyclops, Batman, Spider-Man, all those characters really spoke to me. And the storylines were interesting and continued throughout the episodes, whereas Power Rangers was painful for me. But this need to have friends and have this social interaction overwhelmed my childhood brain, and I watched this awful show. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the show is still going on today with new characters and new iterations, which I imagine they just replaced all the characters with different characters but have stuck to the exact same formula. Peer pressure is the worst thing in the world. It can make you do really stupid things like watching the first season of Power Rangers. Don't do it, kids. Say no to Power Rangers. I'm glad that throughout my life, I've learned to like things because I like them and not do things just to be a part of a social group. It's okay to like different things, and you can still be friends with people that have different interests than you. In fact, that's pretty awesome. When I surround myself with people that have differing views and differing life experiences and preferences, I feel like having that around me allows me to experience the world more fully. It really enriches my life. Although I do think that core values and principles are essential for a good relationship, whether that's romantic or a friendship or whatever. A common ground is really vital for any sort of relationship. But all the other odds and ends allow us to complement each other. If somebody has the same interests as me, I'm not going to disregard them because they're the same as me. They're still my friend and we can build on those common interests. But I'm also not going to throw somebody out of my life that doesn't have the same interests as me. Those differences add value to my life and our relationship. Well, that's a little tidbit philosophy on life by Jay the Bearded Braceface. As always, hope this wasn't horrible. Editing is the hard part.